Hey, how's it going? In this video, I would like to explore the new OpenAI Responses API, which has been released a couple of days ago. And this new API will replace the older chat completions endpoint in 2026. So then the chat completion will be deprecated. So let's first have a look at the current chat completion version, which is this one here, and then the new Responses API. Now first, client.chat.completion.create. This was the old way, let's call it old way, and then we defined a model, and then the messages, which is in this case a list, Python list with role content, right? This was the strategy, and then we just use response choices 0 message.content just to get the content. So this is a normal API call to the chat completion endpoint. Now this is the old way, so let's just comment that out, and let's have a look at the new way, so like that, which is up here. This is the new endpoint, so we instantiate the client, and then we say client.responses.create, so it's shorter, and then we also do not have any messages anymore. Instead, we have an input, and the input is just our question here. In this case, what is Andromeda in space? Answer in one sentence. And then we just say result is response.output text. So there's no messages array, or in this case list in Python here anymore, and also no choices 0.message.content, anything like that. It's just output text. So let's give this a try. Let me just save this, and then let's call it, let's say Python. Here I need to call it Python. And then in this case, test.py. So this just is, and let's just run that, and we just see just a moment, there it is, Andromeda is a spiral galaxy located approximately, and so on and so on and so on. So that works fine. So this is the first and most easiest way to do that. But now, of course, the new Responses API also has a few additional benefits. And at first I was curious, how does actually streaming work? Because right now we just wait for the response to be generated and then just print it, in this case, in the command line, or in this case in the terminal. But of course, we also can do streaming, and with the old, chat completion endpoint, I knew how it works, but not with the new one, and I didn't really find a good example on the internet, so I thought it makes sense to make a video. And also, I'd like to explore how we can use new tools, which are available by default. And this, for instance, is access to the internet. So, of course, by default, OpenAI would not have access to the internet, besides we gave it a tool. So for instance, we could use a Google search tool or SERP API or DuckDuckGo and so on, but this is not necessary anymore because now we have a built-in tool, which is the web search. And let me show you how that works. So in this case, I have a new Python file here, in this case already created it here, and I have here just a function gets response with streaming, but the function itself is just, in this case, calling one more time the Responses API, as you can see here. So I instantiate the client inside the function. Then I use, in this case, client response.create. Again, it's model. Then we have an input, which is the prompt. We have, in this case, two new arguments. The first one is stream, because I wanted to know how does streaming work. So stream is true. This is just the argument. And then this is also new. We can define tools. And we say the type here is web search. Now, as I said, this is a built-in tool. In this case, that just means that there is no need for us to create a tool and define actually how the tool would work. So that's not required anymore. Instead, we can leverage this directly. So in this case, we say create a new client, use the response API. In this case, use our prompt, stream the output, and also make sure that in this case, the client has access to the internet via web search. So this is completely handled by OpenAI. This is nothing we have to do and have to care anymore. So then finally, of course, how does the streaming work? This, of course, is also interesting because one more time we have chunks in our output stream, and then we just take, check actually different kinds of chunks. So what kind of chunk it is. As you can see here, I use chunk content. I checked for chunk delta. It's just simply always the same. I just check for the instance, what kind of instance is it a string, and so on. And then I just print it in this case. And also using end equals, in this case, blank, and flush is true. This just means that this also streams in the data in the command line. So that's it. And now let's actually try that out. So the streaming as well as leveraging the web search tool, the built-in tool. And we can do that simply by calling, for instance, that what are the latest developments in quantum computing? Please search the web for the latest free information. So we explicitly say, give us the newest data regarding that. And then we just call the function itself and put in our prompt, because the function itself, as you can see here, is just actually require a prompt, and the model here is defined up there. Of course, you can also try out different models. There are new ones, the 4.5 and so on, but it's up to you. So that's basically it. So let's give this a try and see whether the web search works. So in this case, I call Python, and in this case, OpenAI Responses _API.py. So that's the name of, in this case, my Python module. And let me run this, and let's just wait. And a response, you can see, and now it should actually start streaming. And there it is. As you can see here, there's the output. And we also get here data from the internet, so D-Wave, quantum computing advantage, and so on and so on. And you also get here the link, the specific link to this article. So you can go there and look that up and read through yourself. But this is just the latest news regarding exactly this topic here. As in, hopefully you can see that this is actually streamed in this case, and the data is really up to date from the web. And without me defining any kind of tools, which I put in here, I just say one tool, a built-in tool in this case, which is type web search. So that's available. There are also a few other additional built-in tools, but that's of course also something you can look up, or you can also, well, of course, I'll put it in the comments, and if you want to see a different video, just let me know. So that's it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Give it a try yourself, and also let me know your thoughts. What do you think about the new Responses API? Is it better? Is it worse? What other kinds of things you want to try with that? Just let me know. And if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. Also share it. Subscribe to the channel. Thanks a lot. Take care, and see you in the next one.